Hey everyone, Shark here, and the best event of the year just launched, and you can get a ton of free Primo Gems, free wishes, and even a free 4-star character. You get to pick from Beidou, Chongyun, Ninguang, Xiangling, Xinyan, Xingqiu, Yanfei, Yunjin, or even the brand new Dendro healer Yaoyao. Whew, that's a lot. So who should you choose? Xingqiu. You should choose Xingqiu. He is the best, by far, is what I would normally say, but some things have changed. Now, it isn't that Xingqiu isn't one of the strongest and most useful characters you can get, he definitely is, but patch 3.4 brings a lot to the table, and if you follow the tips I have for which character to choose, you can see a dramatic boost in the power of your account, whether you just fought your first Hilichurl or have saved Teyvat from countless extinction level threats. So let's dive in and evaluate the characters. We'll start with Xingqiu because he is actually the best choice for a majority of people. He provides off-field fast hydro application, good damage, interruption resistance, and a tiny but helpful bit of healing from his rain swords. Xingqiu is not only one of the best 4-stars in the game, but he's even better than a sizable number of 5-stars. And in almost all situations, I would recommend you picking Xingqiu regardless of any of the other choices. But there's one thing that's preventing me from giving you this blanket recommendation, and that's the second phase banner. The banners I'm talking about are coming out February 7th and feature Yelan and Hu Tao as the signature 5-stars. But they also have Xingqiu, Beidou, and Ninguang. So not only do we have some great 5-stars, but we have some really amazing 4-star characters on the banner, and it's honestly one of the best ones we've had in a long time. And if you are planning to wish for either Yelan or Hu Tao, there's a good chance you'll get a copy of Xingqiu along the way. But even if you plan on pulling for Hu Tao or Yelan, you may still want to pick Xingqiu as your free character. And this is because Xingqiu does not truly have a bad or useless constellation. In fact, his second constellation is his second biggest power spike, just behind his 6th and final constellation. Now, even though I would recommend Xingqiu to be your priority, there are some situations where it may be better for you to choose another option for your free character, and I'll go over these situations and then dive deeper into the other high priority characters. So here's a simple general breakdown. Choose Xingqiu if you don't have him, you like to play Cryo, Pyro, Dendro, or Electro characters, or you're close to his 2nd or 6th and final constellation. Consider choosing another character if you plan to make more than 50 wishes on the Hu Tao or Yelan banner, you plan to buy his 6th and final constellation from the Star Glitter shop in March, you already have him and there are more valuable characters you can choose. So based on these criteria, you can tell that he's a priority, but let's say you're one of those people who might consider choosing someone other than Xingqiu. And by now you probably know that there are certain characters that are better than others, and these characters can also get massive power boosts from constellations. So even if you already have certain characters, it may be better to use your free wish for constellations rather than getting a new character. So we'll outline that next. After Xingqiu, the next most powerful characters you can get from the Lantern Rite event are Constellation 2 Beidou and Constellation 4 Xiangling. Beidou's Constellation 2 gives her a massive 66% increase to her overall burst damage, and it is her best constellation by far. And this makes an already very strong character just absurdly powerful in both electrocharged and aggravate teams. Xiangling's Constellation 4 increases her burst duration from 10 to 14 seconds, and it's also the biggest spike in her damage of all of her constellations. This makes Melt, Vaporize, and any national teams hit way harder. The other available characters can tend to be a bit more niche, but in some situations they can be very helpful. So let's talk about these characters and where they're good and where they're not. Chongyun isn't played that much anymore because most cryo teams, whether they're freeze or reverse melt, have plenty of cryo application without him. So his cryo infusion isn't as valuable as it used to be, especially considering characters like Ayaka who have on-demand cryo infusion that is not tied to her skill or burst. Ninguang can work well as a quick swap damage dealer or on-field DPS in Geo teams, but Geo is the worst element in the game, so I would not recommend choosing her. Xinyan, she is all over the place. She was designed as a physical damage dealer and a pyro shielder with split defense scaling. Unfortunately, she isn't particularly good at anything she does and is often the worst option among other characters that do similar things, whether it's physical damage or provide a shield. She's also not great in pyro teams, and it doesn't help that one of her talents that makes her shield stronger hasn't worked properly in over 2 years. Yanfei is an on-field pyro DPS, and honestly, we just have a ton of these already. But she's also outshined by a character like Xiangling, who can do all of her pyro damage off-field while causing a reaction on every single hit of her burst. However, Yanfei's Constellation 4 can make for a new and interesting playstyle, as using her elemental burst gives you access to a shield that is based on her HP. So a Constellation 4 Yanfei can actually be a really nice shield character. Yunjin is really only useful for normal attacking characters like Yoimiya, Ayato, or Noelle, and even then there usually are better options since her normal attack buff isn't always enough to make up for the extra damage and reactions that you can get from using another character in her place. Yaoyao is actually a very solid healer that provides a lot better Dendro application than a character like Kale, and she's also really nice for Nilou Bloom teams. Her damage isn't spectacular, but it can be pretty good if you're okay with trading off her healing power for her other green numbers. So considering all of this, I want to give you a few examples of which character would be best and give you the most value for your account. And really quickly, make sure you like the video and sub to the channel if you haven't already. I'm going to go over who to choose in 7 specific situations to help you understand who is best for your account. Situation 1. I don't have Xingqiu. Choose Xingqiu. I don't have Xingqiu, but I'm rolling for Hu Tao or Yelan. My pity is 50 and I'm guaranteed to get the limited 5-star character. Also choose Xingqiu here. You may not get him on the banner and he's too valuable to pass up. He's basically mandatory for Hu Tao, and even though Yelan is very similar to him, having 2 off-field hydro damage dealers opens up so many possibilities for you. Not to mention, Xingqiu and Yelan also work very well together. Situation 3. I wished for Zhao or Alhaitham and want to wish for Hu Tao or Yelan, but will only have a few wishes. Again, choose Xingqiu. You may not get him on the second phase banners, and even though a character like Zhao doesn't normally run with Xingqiu, almost every other team in the entire game benefits from having Xingqiu. Situation 4. I have C0 Xingqiu, C1 Beidou, and C3 Xiangling. I have 30 pity and I'm planning to wish on Hu Tao or Yelan's banner. In this situation, it's best to choose Xiangling. Chances are that you'll get a few Xingqiu and Beidou constellations. Since your pity is only at 30, it means you're probably going to throw in quite a few wishes, and in the process you'll probably pick up some Xingqiu and Beidou constellations. And in this situation, since you already have Xingqiu and Beidou, albeit at low constellations, it's best to go for Constellation 4 Xiangling to get her big power spike. Situation 5. I have C1 Xingqiu, C1 Beidou, and C3 Xiangling. But I don't have Bennett. Most of the time you'll want to choose Xingqiu for that second powerful constellation, but if you're running an electrocharged or aggravate team, then I would choose Beidou. However, if you believe that you can save up and not spend 34 star glitter by the end of May, then you can choose Xiangling, so you can get her very powerful Constellation 4 and then use the star glitter you save to buy Bennett from the star glitter shop in May. Situation 6. I love Nilou! My beautiful princess dances like a dream. If you don't have Xingqiu, choose Xingqiu. If you have him, choose Yaoyao. Situation 7. I have C0 Beidou, C0 Xiangling, and C0 Xingqiu, but I really want a new character. Choose Yaoyao. If you want a new character and don't want to use the event rewards for constellations, Yaoyao is the most versatile remaining character. I know every situation is as unique as all of the players are, so if you have a specific question about who you should pick, feel free to ask me who's best for you in the comments or ask me live on Twitch. There's definitely a lot to consider, but generally Xingqiu is your best option. However, as you've probably surmised, it gets very complicated very quickly, especially when you have to think about team compositions and which 5 stars you're going for. Luckily, I have videos on the best and most versatile characters you can get, not only the 5 stars in patch 3.4, but also the best characters you can get overall, period. So if you're curious about who the best 5 stars are in patch 3.4, as well as who the best characters are in general, but also why they're the best, I'll make sure to have those videos linked in the description below and also at the end of this video. I hope this breakdown has been helpful and gives you a better understanding of who is most valuable for your account. I know for most people it's just going to be Xingqiu. I kind of wish it was someone else because I can't pronounce his name right half the time anyways, but he's honestly just so useful for everyone unless they already have him C6. But with that being said, I love you all, stay jawsome, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.